Namaste everyone. Alright, so I'll be talking about Maharshi Swami Dayanand Saraswati and how he is a promoter of universal brotherhood and a promoter of love. Now, before doing this whole research project of finding out about Maharshi Dayanand's life and how this relates to him, I just went from basic steps of first just looking up what brotherhood is, and it's defined as a community of people linked by common interests. And as you know, love is defined as an intense feeling or deep affection. So I'll be talking about different time periods in Swami Dayanand's life where love and brotherhood stood out the most. So beginning from childhood, where Mul Shankar began his love for knowledge. So when he attained the age of 5, Mul Shankar's education had already started, where he had a sharp intellect and an extraordinary memory. So Mul Shankar prepared himself to become a young Hindu priest by studying Sanskrit, the Vedas, and other religious texts. And then moving on from where he was leaving home, after arguing with his father about the Shivling and idol worshipping, and also the death of his sister from cholera, and 3 years later when his beloved uncle also suffered from cholera, Mul Shankar's desire to seek truth grew, because all he could ponder about was what is life and what is death. He wanted to learn the answers to these questions from a perfect sage. So with this mindset, Mul Shankar had left home in search of a worthy guru at the age of 21. Now this part of his life not only signified a separation from his family ties, but it also signified a detachment from all worldly possessions and pleasures. And although he had sacrificed wealth over knowledge, Mul Shankar had gotten the better part of the bargain because, as they say, knowledge is wealth and knowledge is power. So in wandering for a search of a guru, for nearly 25 years, Swami Dayanand wandered as an ascetic, giving up all material goods, living a life of self-discipline, and devoting himself to God. He traveled from jungles to the mountains in the Himalayas, searching for religious truth. And when he had met Swami Dayanand in 1860, they both shared the same belief that Hinduism had strayed from its historical roots and that many of its practices had become impure. And as a strong follower of truth, Swami Dayanand had to react to this situation. So this led to the creation of the Arya Samaj, which is a product of universal brotherhood. Because Swami Dayanand's teachings, Swami Dayanand promised his guru that his mission was to devote his life not in starting a new religion, but restoring the rightful place of the Vedas in the Hindu faith. He also wanted to promote universal unity of nobleness, as spelled out in the Vedas. So to begin his mission of universal brotherhood, Swami Dayanand in 1875 founded the Arya Samaj, otherwise known as a noble society. Unlike other many reform movements within Hinduism, the Arya Samaj was not only addressed to few educated people in India, but to the world. He learned that from conducting logical, scientific, and critical analyses of all faiths, that this noble society's teachings promoted universalism for not only a particular sect, faith, community, or nation, but for all living beings. Also about his love for others and being a social reformer. So, with the help of the Arya Samaj, he was able to condemn idol worship, animal sacrifice, ancestor worship, the caste system, untouchability, child marriages, and discrimination against women, because they all lacked Vedic moral and sanction. The Arya Samaj also discouraged dogma and symbolism, and instead encouraged skepticism and beliefs that run contrary to common sense and logic. That is how Swami Dayanand aimed the Arya Samaj to be, a noble, universal brotherhood based on the authority of the Vedas. Now, Swami Dayanand was also a pioneer of the cause of having one national language. So in order to achieve universal brotherhood, Swami Dayanand convinced himself that a common language needed to be established, which made sense that this would unify the members of a society. So therefore, he had the opinion that Hindi should be given in place of the national language, Although Swami Dayanand was born in Gujarat and had fine command and was fluent in the Gujarati language, he chose to make his speeches in Hindi as well as his books. And then his great debates. However, a difficult task in completing Swami Dayanand's mission of reforming Hinduism was to travel across the country and challenge religious scholars and priests in debates. He won repeatedly many times, and this was because of all the many arguments that were based upon the knowledge of Sanskrit and Vedas. It was also because of his keen desire to unite all people under the banner of one single religion, and he always worked hard for this destiny. In debates with his opponents, he told them that Hindus had been misled by self-glorious Hindu priests. He told them that priests discouraged the public from reading Vedic scriptures and instead encouraged rituals, superstitions, and self-serving practices. He told them that Hinduism had been corrupted by us diverging from the founding principles of the Vedas. He told them that in order to reform Hinduism, we must educate the nation. We must go back to the Vedas, which was his saying. We must go back to its roots and follow the Vedic life. And with this message, he succeeded in influencing many thinkers and philosophers around the world to do the same, with love and brotherhood. Thank you.
Very nice.